True horror files stories. File number 4. What you're about to hear was reported as real.
Prologue: The Ad. In the summer of 1971, a classified ad appeared in a Palo Alto newspaper. Male college students needed for psychological study of prison life, $15 per day for 1 to 2 weeks. More than 70 young men, lured by the pay and curiosity, applied. They were screened for psychological stability and deemed normal, healthy, and average. From them, 24 were chosen. By the flip of a coin, 9 were assigned to be prisoners, 9 to be guards. The rest were on standby. None of them knew they were about to step into a machine designed to break the human spirit. Day 1. The Mask of Power. The transformation began instantly. The prisoners were arrested at their homes by real police, handcuffed, and brought to the makeshift prison in the basement of Stanford's psychology building. They were stripped, deloused, issued smocks with ID numbers, and had chains locked around their ankles. Their names were erased. The guards were given khaki uniforms, reflective sunglasses to hide their eyes, and wooden batons. They were told they could not use physical violence, but were instructed to maintain order and create a feeling of powerlessness. The stage was set. The researcher, Professor Philip Zimbardo, took on the role of the superintendent. The experiment had begun. Day 2. The Rebellion and the Birth of Cruelty. After a tense but quiet first day, the prisoners rebelled on the morning of Day 2. They barricaded themselves in their cells, tearing off their ID numbers and caps. This rebellion was the spark. The guards, feeling their authority challenged, crushed it with ferocious creativity. They used a fire extinguisher to blast the prisoners with cold carbon dioxide. They stripped the rebels naked, took their beds, and threw the ringleaders into solitary confinement, a tiny, dark closet. The guards discovered a terrible power in their roles. To break solidarity, they created a privileged cell for compliant prisoners, giving them better food and blankets, turning prisoner against prisoner. The counts, initially simply a roll call, became prolonged, humiliating ordeals. The prisoners were forced to do push-ups, sometimes while other prisoners sat on their backs. The line between role-playing and reality was already dissolving. Days 3 and 4. The Descent. The environment curdled into relentless psychological torture. Guards invented degrading games and meaningless tasks. Sleep deprivation was constant, with nighttime counts blaring from whistles. Then, the first breakdown. Prisoner 8612, less than 36 hours into the experiment, began sobbing uncontrollably, screaming and raging. The researchers, now thinking like jailers, first believed he was faking. When they realized his distress was real, they did not simply release him. Instead, they offered him a deal: become an informant for the guards, and the harassment would stop. He returned to his cell and told the others a chilling truth: "You can't leave. You can't quit." He was soon released, utterly broken. On a visiting day, parents came. The guards staged a Potemkin village, cleaning the prisoners, playing music. When one mother expressed concern over her son's haggard appearance, Zimbardo, as the superintendent, deftly shifted the blame. "What's the matter with your boy? Doesn't he sleep well?" The system was now protecting itself. Days 5 and 6, the banality of evil and the wake-up call. The guards' behaviors became arbitrarily cruel. Some seemed to enjoy their dominance, patterning themselves after movie wardens. Others participated passively. The prisoners, in turn, became subdued, depressed, and obedient. They began to inform on each other. The most terrifying transformation, however, may have been in the head researcher. Zimbardo had ceased to be a scientist. He was sleeping in his office, fully immersed as the prison superintendent, rationalizing every escalation. The experiment had consumed its creator. It ended because an outsider finally saw it for what it was. Christina Maslach, a recent PhD and Zimbardo's girlfriend and future wife, came to evaluate the prison. She saw hooded, chained prisoners being marched to the bathroom while guards yelled obscenities. She became physically ill and confronted Zimbardo in a furious argument. "You don't know what you're doing to these boys," she cried. In that moment, her fresh eyes pierced the fantasy. Shamed back into her role as a psychologist, Zimbardo called off the experiment. It had lasted 6 days. The planned 2-week study was over. Epilogue: The Ghost in the Machine. The Stanford prison experiment was shockingly terminated, but its questions haunt us forever. It suggests that the line between good and evil is not fixed, but a permeable boundary shaped by power, permission, and situation. The monsters were not born, they were created by a costume, a title, and a system that encouraged cruelty. The experiment is now widely criticized for its unethical design and for coaching the guards, yet its core, terrifying lesson endures in popular imagination, that within ordinary people lies a capacity for extraordinary darkness, waiting for the right or wrong circumstances to set it free. The real horror isn't a monster under the bed, it's the realization that under the right pressure, the monster might look back at us in the mirror. Key facts of the Stanford prison experiment. For a quick overview, here are the core facts behind this disturbing story. Date and duration: August 14th to 20th, 1971, terminated after 6 days. Lead researcher, Dr. Philip Zimbardo of Stanford University. Participants, 24 male college students screened as psychologically normal, randomly assigned as guards or prisoners. Primary goal: to study the effects of power, roles, and situational forces on human behavior. Key outcome: rapid escalation of psychological abuse and distress, demonstrating how social situations can powerfully corrupt behavior. Enduring legacy: a landmark, controversial case study on the psychology of power, obedience, and institutional evil.
If this story stayed with you, don't rush back to the light just yet. These files are both from real events, old records, and careful storytelling. I put a lot of time into shaping the atmosphere you just hear. If you enjoy this kind of quiet, realistic horror, consider subscribing to True Horror Files Stories. leave a comment if it affected you. And if you have a true story you never told anyone, you can share it in the comments. Next file will be waiting.